Hey guys, this is Crystal Cook with Female Fridays, and today I have a special guest. This is Brianna Makarevich, and she's a sales manager with Riso. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited. We've had a chance to kind of talk and get to know each other already. We have a lot of stuff in common, so our pre-part to this recording was way longer than the actual recording is going to be, but that's okay. I want to hear about what you are doing right now as a sales trainer. I know currently you're wearing a lot of different hats. You've made a lot of changes to how you are training, how you're going out to the field, how you're engaging your customers. And I think those types of things right now are more relevant than ever to talk about. So I'm going to let you just jump in and take off with that.
Thanks so much. I was hired about 5 years ago to Riso Inc. as the sales trainer, and that is my title at Riso, but as you mentioned, I'm a fashionista when it comes to hats, or so we joke. Because I have evolved into being a bit of a video personality, trade show stage talent. We're now doing virtual demos, which came about in the last year, and that's something that I have also taken on. And with some changes that happened in the company recently, I'm also now going to be, or have been, doing the event coordinating, not so much the events themselves, but the back ends, the food, the hotels, the venues, things of that nature. So it all kind of ties together, right? Because if you're hosting a training, they have to happen somewhere. Usually if you're hosting an event, you include some sort of training in that. And then it's funny, the video thing we actually tapped into about 4 years ago. As a way to evolve and hit more people. And then that was phenomenal when COVID hit because we already had a following.
You had a head start on it already. Yeah.
We did have a head start on it. And so we had all of the green screen in place. We had lighting already set up. So when it came to me needing to film virtually, it was a simple trip to the post office for my marketing manager and also video producer, Jesse Heindel. And he just sent me all the stuff. And thanks to the beauty of Zoom and a little bit of a lavalier mic to help with audio, we were able to continue producing. In fact, the running joke is I actually had a baby while COVID was going on. No one was in the office, but we pre-recorded everything, so much so that there was literally never a week missed on our weekly video series. So that was a joke that at one point Jesse made to me because I said, these guys are like making requests and things like that, but I'm on maternity leave. And he goes, Brianna, they don't realize that you like left it all because we always filmed you from here up as we have for 4 years now. And you pre-recorded everything for
you just show back up with a whole new human and they just had no idea.
I should have invited him on screen with me and, been like, I'm a Riso duplicator now.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, there's a lot of hats that I wear, but that's really what Riso is. We're a company that we're very dynamic within our company and our culture. Whatever needs to be done, we do in order to make sure that we can offer the best services. I mean, Andre Durbano, who is our executive director of sales, he's also been working with the marketing department. He works with our technical department. I mean, our division controller, Leanne Lavoie, she's also now running marketing. So when you take a look at the different areas that everybody has been stepping in, we all, I guess, work together in a way in order to make things happen. So that's just the culture at Riso. And it is nice because I've worked for companies where your job is your job. And if you tried to step outside your lane, you kind of got told, we already have a department doing that. And it didn't give you room to expand. So.
Yeah, that's great. ACDI is the exact same way. So poor Josh Lane, I'm always going up to him and be like, hey, what if we did this? And he's always just like, okay, well, do it and let me know how it goes. He's just like, whatever. Go ahead and give it a try. But the downside of being able to do so many different things and wear so many hats is you end up having to do so many things and wearing all the different hats, right? Double-edged sword there. Love it. So, by the way, congratulations on being named a young influencer for the Canada Report. And I actually have this pulled up right here to the side because there's a couple of things I want to ask you about. So, all the different
Thank you.
things you're doing currently are definitely being noticed. People are talking about you. So, congratulations on that. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Especially impressive considering you also like made a whole person this year as well. So, that's super awesome.
Yeah, I'm very flattered and honored, and yeah, I guess that's how that happened. But again, I don't think people realized I had a whole human because that's the beauty of pre-recording.
That's the beauty of Zoom. You never know who's really there.
It's all
Um,
about angles.
it's all about angles, exactly. So, as a sales manager, of course, you have a lot of different experiences. You know, you were talking to me, you've had several different mentors. And I want to jump into one of the things that one of your mentors told you. And it's that lazy sales trainers are the best sales trainers because you're making the participants actually do the work. And my jaw dropped when I read that for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time, which is why I love these types of conversations and talking to different people and getting different perspectives on things because it's 100% right. Like myself as a trainer, I tend to go down like the rabbit hole of every scenario and like what it's going to look like and how you should handle it. But then within a week, they're still coming back and asking you questions on every single thing because you didn't really make them think for themselves, right? So yeah,
It's
tell me about that. I love it.
it's hard. I mean, when I was a sales manager, it's also hard to be observing one of your salespeople doing it and being like, I could have closed this if you had just said X, Y, and Z.
Could have
But
closed last week. What are you doing?
but that's, you know, the plus side of training is it's a good place to let people fall down and it's a safe space. So it's also, you got to give them the opportunity to practice the skills. And for the record, I also hate scripts. I don't know anybody who likes scripts,
No.
but nobody takes the time to write their own script, so to speak, in their own words, especially once they've left training. So I actually wish we could change my title instead of sales trainer to sales workshoppeteer or something along those lines, because a true workshop, you go, you build a birdhouse, you should walk out with said birdhouse. Nobody's coming around and hammering the nails for you. A really good sales workshop, you come away with some things. I'm not just talking notes. Maybe you come away with a prospecting list because you worked as a group to figure out a new way to prospect, or you come out with that telephone script that you think you're comfortable with because you wrote it, you tested it out. Or sometimes my favorite, when people are taking pictures of the easel charts that we have around the room or the whiteboard charts that we hang up around the room. If people are doing that, then they're walking away with something. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, laziness, yes. It's just a funny way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's why it held with me, but it really it resonated with me. And it sounds like it resonated with you too.
Yeah.
But it just allows people and somebody else said to me, completely different mentor said to me, role playing, nobody likes, but it's muscle memory. The guy who was able on the basketball court to hit the, you know, free throw shot every single time, it's not because he saw someone do it and then went into the basketball game and hit the free throw. He sat there when the stadium was empty or the arena was empty, and he practiced over and over and over again, shifted his feet, did it from his left, did it from his right, tried, you know, this way, that way. That way, when the pressure came on and there's people cheering and shouting or booing and the pressure's on, he had practiced it in so many ways that something in his brain clicked in and he was able to shoot it. And the same thing holds true with if you've practiced overcoming an objection or how to have a good discovery conversation in a safe space, and you've done it like 5 or 8 million times. Okay, I'm exaggerating on the million, but if you've done it enough times, when the objection price comes up, which isn't that the one that almost always comes up?
Yeah.
In your head, you're not surprised by it, or you don't walk up on it because that sounds an awful lot like what Terry said in the training a couple months ago, or, oh, we talked about how to overcome this, and your brain just, muscle memory kicks in. So workshops are also like practicing for a sport, because sales is, let's be honest, it's a pretty exciting sport when you think
Yeah.
about it.
So I sell software, which is not easy for a lot of salespeople to do, mostly because their biggest focus is the hardware. And one of the things I say to sales managers when I come and do demos and trainings for the team is salespeople aren't going to talk about anything they're not comfortable with. Right? They don't want the gotcha questions. They don't want to be surprised. They don't want to look stupid. I won't talk about something I'm not familiar with because I don't want to look stupid, right? So it's about letting them know what their resources are and getting them comfortable with their own talk track, and maybe even giving them an out so they don't know the answer to something. Like, they know what to do, they know what to say, they know who to get involved, and that's the same thing. So I'm also going to steal the muscle memory piece from you as well to start incorporating in my own trainings, because
Well,
that goes right in with the talk tracks. I'm stealing a lot of stuff from you today, so.
well, let me give you one
Great.
skill as well that I also carry with me. And by the way, usually gets a pretty good chuckle, especially being a female standing in front of usually a male dominated room. Sales is just dating. And I'm not the first person to say this, but again, this goes to when I was at Verizon Wireless, it was usually a younger group of people. And I had this kid who was probably only a couple years younger than me, phenomenal sales rep. And he was struggling with role playing. And he was like, I just don't like the process you're asking me to do. I know I'm good at my job. I came from T-Mobile. I know I'm good at it. You guys are overcomplicating it. And I was like, and it was all about the connect and the discovery process, which really we all do. DNA, discovery needs analysis. So I said to him, I go, come here. And I pulled him aside for a minute and I said, so, when you go out with your buddies and your bros, and he's like, where is this going? And I'm like, you go out and you're like, I'm just having a good time. I bet you have no problem picking up the ladies. And he shrugs, he goes, I do all right. And I'm like, yeah. I said, but let's say maybe it's been a while since you've had a first date, or I don't know, you're on the prowl, so to speak, and you're going out and you may be with your buddies, but you're on a mission to get some numbers. $10 says you have a really hard time with that. Well, now he's all like, I do okay. And I'm like, they can smell it on you. And he was like, I don't get where we're going with this. I said, if a customer knows you're trying to sell them something and you haven't just taken time to build the rapport with them, they're never going to buy from you because they can smell that you're desperate to sell them something. But if you're just there to get to know people because they showed up at your place of work and you're getting to know some people and you might have something to help them, you're probably going to make some magic happen. And a month later, he actually made the leaderboard for some stuff, and he sends me an email forwarding me his results and the email recognizing him. And this corporate email starts off with, hey, Bree, when you pulled me aside into that room and talked about dating with me? And I'm like, oh my goodness.
That's exactly what happened. Yes.
Yes. But his point was, I look at every day I go into work as a day to just get to know people and figure out the best way that we can be compatible and meet their needs. And it's helped me out a lot. And I think that's really what sales is all about. And that also leads into, and I apologize, I've gone on for a while here about this, but a lot of salespeople, they trip up because they're so busy thinking about what they're going to say next. They might miss what they're saying. Yeah. So active listening. We tell our kids to do it, or I will be telling my kid to do it when he knows what I'm saying. And it's something that we all as adults in our jobs and in sales really could benefit from doing as well.
Yeah, one of the things that I actively work on is to listen, not listening to respond, right? Yes. And I feel like just as a professional, you want to be prepared for any conversation. You want to have something to contribute to the conversation, right? You don't want to just sit there mutely, but I think it's okay just to listen. And sales, especially in our industry, has evolved so much. You said it already. customers know when you're trying to sell them, and no one wants to be sold.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are going to look at cars on a car lot and you know you're going there to do that, you don't want someone to come up and sell you on a car.
Right.
But you want someone to come up and give you really good information that's relevant to your needs, right? And there is a difference. And I think salespeople forget that sometimes. There is a real difference.
To your point, listening to listen helps in everything. It's how we've evolved our trainings to be something different than they were before. The reason we got started doing video work 4 years ago is because we could hear that people couldn't take time out of the field once a month to attend a half day or whole day training. But they could take 10 minutes or 4 minutes or 3 minutes out of their day every single week to hear a little bit of a training message, which by the time you're done equivalates to almost the same amount of information that they would have gotten in traveling and attending and going to a half day training or a 2-hour training. So I think that, listening to listen also allows you to adapt your product to the needs as they change a lot quicker, whether it's in sales or training or management. It's a really valuable skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you joining me today. Congratulations on the Young Influencer Award. You and I, we've really got to know each other, and I'm already going to come back and ask you for a part 2 soon, because there are some things that we've already talked about that I want to go back through, some of your methodology on changing up while doing sales training. I want to come back and do a whole session on that. I think that's going to be really beneficial for the industry. But,
well, it's really beneficial to talk to you, and also, back and forth. So it's a huge benefit to me. So if you want to do a part 2, sign me up, because I'd love it.
Well, I have to, because I'm straight up stealing your ideas at this point. So I'm going to need
I got to steal some from you too. So it's got to be mutual, right? Dating's a back and forth.
Absolutely. You heard it first here, guys. We are officially dating. So let that be whatever it is.
You're buying.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.